Well, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back, and today I have an interesting video for you. Today I want to talk about MSR, and more specifically, I want to talk about the Windburner. Right here you can see I have the little 1 liter pot. This is the Windburner. And what's cool about this system here is the stove unit and everything sits on top of the fuel canister. Now right here I have the MSR Windburner group set up. This is a 2.5 liter pot, and it is a remote setup. So you have your fuel canister over here. There's a fuel line that goes to the burner, and the pot actually sits on top of the burner itself. So both of these are excellent. I've expanded on my Windburner line by adding the stock pot to my set. This is a 4.5 liter pot. So right here it says one system, all your needs. And it talks a little bit about nesting options. So you can take right here the remote setup here, the remote burner, your fuel canister, 1.0 liter pot fits inside a 1.8 liter pot. And then right here you have the same thing. You've got the remote system, a fuel canister. This is an 8-ounce fuel canister, where that's a 4-ounce fuel canister. That all fits inside of the 2.5 liter pot that you see right there. And then all of this fits inside this pot that I'm holding right here. And then at the very bottom there's it's a skillet. I don't have that yet, but I'll probably end up getting that in the future. And then what's so cool about that is you'll have two systems that have multiple opportunities. Now right here it says that this includes the 4.5 liter hard anodized aluminum pot with fixed handles. It also includes a strainer lid with locking latches. Here's the MSR information. And what's interesting is this little chart right here. They actually claim that 1 liter of water on this pot will boil faster than both of these. Now this one here, the 1 liter pot, they say that that'll boil a liter of water in 4.24 minutes. The 1.8 liter pot, which I don't have yet, but it's coming, it'll boil the water in roughly the same amount of time. The 2.5 liter stock pot that you see here does not have a heat exchanger on the bottom, so the boil times of all of them suffer the most on that one. It says 1 liter of water takes 6 minutes, but this one has a heat exchanger on the bottom, and it says that the boil time is under 4 minutes for 1 liter of water. So I'm super excited about that. This is very, very cool. Group cooking. So 4.5 liter pot for group and large volume cooking. Ultra efficient integrated heat exchanger for fast boil times. Compact nesting. Pot perfectly nests Windburner group stove system for efficiently packing. Self-centering pot fits the Windburner stove. Deep lip for increased stability. Okay, so what they're referring to is this little lip right here. Fits on the burner. And it works good. I just wish that this pot had a heat exchanger. It'd be awesome. So let's go ahead and open this up. I'm very, very excited. I've been waiting for this. I want to say thank you right off the bat to MSR for sending this out for review. I'm very, very excited. Now my first impressions, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, this feels light. It does not feel heavy at all. But don't let that fool you. It's heavy duty. These pots are hard anodized aluminum, and they're built really, really well. So let's put that there. Now you can see here is a look at the lid. You have a vented lid up here, and it also has a built-in strainer. So it's very similar to what we had on the 2.5 liter pot. very much the same thing. It also fits right up top just like that. And the thing that I like a lot is these little rubber rollers that lock into place. Because if you have, let's say you're making some pasta and you want to drain that, you lock those in and it holds the lid on, so you can sit there and drain all your water. It works good. This one has the same thing. It only has one, but I'm telling you, it's very effective. It works really, really good. So that's a new thing for me. I haven't seen much of that, but I like that this pot has that. Another thing I want to make note of real quick is this one has the integrated heat exchanger. So this thing, I think the boil times are probably faster on this because there's a wider, more surface area. The heat travels through those heat exchangers and it just goes to boil that water. You have the vents in the front. There's no vents on the side, on either side, which is super cool. You just have vents in the front and vents in the back. And also on the back of the pot, you can see that there's graduation markers. Hopefully you can see that. And then when I take the pot lid off and look inside, you can actually read them inside the pot. Let me see if I can tilt that for you. Hopefully you're seeing that. So this first mark is 2 liters. And then you got 3 liters, 4 liters. So I'm taking it, this is 3.5, this is 2.5, this is probably 1 right around this line, maybe 1.5. So that is super cool. Everything is built very solid. The handles are riveted in. They have these rubber, or I think this is actually like a silicone, so you can grab this thing when it's hot. I just really like the heat exchanger. I'm very, very excited about it. So as you can see, sitting next to the MSR stock pot, I have the Stanley. This is not the base camp cook set. This is the even heating one. This is the one that is a step above that. The base camp cook set is only 3 liters. This one is the larger one that's 4 liters. Now it does have a thicker wall on it, but when you compare the weight of this guy right here versus this guy, the weight difference is a lot. This thing is a lot heavier. So it's kind of nice to have something very light like this that's so light to pack. It's not taking up all the weight, because this thing really is heavy. It's nice because you can cook over whatever you want, fire, stoves, whatever, and it's stainless steel, so very durable. But this thing is really light. Let's go ahead and fire this up. Take 1 liter of water. And let's see how does that look on the graduation markers, and how long does it take to boil this water. So there's my timer. Let's go ahead and open the group setup here, because what I want to do is I want to get out my burner and my fuel canister. That 2.5 works good. It's just, I wish it had a heat exchanger. So I love the way these group stoves work. So looking at 1 liter of water, the water line is basically around this rim here. So that's kind of cool. Let's go ahead and make sure this is turned off. We'll get this bad boy fired up. And do a quick boil. Let's wait till we see that little wire glowing. See that wire glowing there? Tells us that burner's ready to go. So now we'll set that right there. Oh yeah, it fits nice. Put the lid on, let's start the time. We're going to get this thing up to a boil and see how long it takes. Looking down at the bottom underneath here, and I like the way that that pot fits on that burner. Very nice. The box says it'll do it in 3 minutes and 50 seconds compared to all the other times on the other pots. That's nuts. And then looking at the package here, it says weight 20.7 ounces. Boils up to 4 times faster than the competitor's stoves. That's in windy conditions. Up to 8 miles an hour, down to 32 degrees. That's amazing. What I'd really like to see is MSR change this Windburner where this can run in liquid feed mode. That would be super cool. They advertise the heavy rolling boil to be 350, so we're 10 seconds away from that. Let's see what we got here. 49.50. Yep, we sure are. Stop the clock. Let's take a look. Show you what we got there. Look at that. That is cool. Really like it. I like that it has the strainer holes. I like the little rubber grommets so you can pull the lid off without getting hot. We're at a heavy rolling boil now. Look at that. Boiling like crazy. Crazy. That thing's got some power. It's that heat exchanger that does all the fancy stuff for you. I mean, that's a heavy rolling boil. Very high quality piece of cooking gear. Well folks, I want to say thank you for joining me today on this video of the MSR Windburner stock pot, 4.5 liter pot. This thing runs about $100. I'll put a link in the description box down below where you can find this. A lot of you might be thinking $100, that's a lot of money, and it is. I'm not going to deny that. But when it comes to the technology that they put into this pot and the lightweight of it with that awesome heat exchanger, $100 is worth it when you're buying good high quality gear. This is a nice pot. I can see that I'm going to be using it a lot. I like the way it just finds that burner. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall off or anything like that. It feels very stable, especially when it has a little water or some food in it. It feels really stable. And the heat exchanger speaks for itself. They've done a phenomenal job with that. And to reduce the boil times on this one by 1 minute compared to this one, that's awesome. So thank you folks. Hope you have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.